All right. All right. So I should at least record a couple times a day, or maybe even just once, just to do something. So I'm working on my Final Frontier Word document. So I think I decided today or yesterday or maybe a couple days ago that I was going to use the Excel documents to sort of forecast because it's just the way the Excel documents are set up. It's just much easier to do that. But then for the Word document version of it, I can go ahead and um, what would you call beforehand? So like maybe it'll be two forms of forecasting, I guess. But one form will be kind of vague as I can get it, and with all the information missing, because the information I will fill in as I do it. And then with the Excel one, that'll be like future forecasting, social forecasting, where I consider big picture things and all of the things that are in my head that seem to make sense at the time, just getting it all out. So, like list making, these are all the books that I'm thinking of reading about. So, I sort of like making a projection of the future self that I want to be. And then here I include up to how I think I'm going to do it. And if I need to make changes, I can make changes. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one real quick. And then I'm going to go start digging into some of these websites that I found um, just to kind of get a brief idea. And this will probably take me a couple of days to do because there's quite a bit of different things. And then there will be for Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, and all of those ones. So for like social media, like content creation, content posting, blogging, things like that, I'll have a separate section for that because I want to learn more about those, figure out what they'll be useful for, and then what maybe they won't be. But the idea is to see what they're useful for so that I can make the best use out of them as I start uploading things to the internet. I really need to start I don't know. I'd like to get a live stream set up, I think. I think this is about time when I start considering that. Maybe next month I'll start live streaming. So I'll use this month to sort of browse through some of this stuff, get it all figured out, sort of organize my thoughts on what's more important, which of these resources are going to be more useful than others. And then from there, I can start live streaming and posting the things that I'm doing. So I'd like to, what do you call it? I'd like to use my actual whiteboards. I'd like to start using those and start getting into the tutor scene now that school started back up. I just want to get rolling on that. So the sooner I get this done, the sooner I can start that. So for the Final Frontier document, I like to use wordplay. So I'm using the acronyms RIP and DIE because they both have a similar meaning to me. Read, incorporate, project, differentiate, integrate, express. The idea is I expose myself to a source of information. So right now, my biggest projects that I'm thinking of are sort of more holistic projects, I guess, because I won't be just doing one thing. I won't be just reading. I'll also be working out. I'll also be incorporating the things that I would be lacking if I just focused on this thing. So there's the great books of the Western world and the sacred books of the East. They're both published by, I think one's Oxford possibly, and then the other is Encyclopedia Britannica. Not long time ago, but last century was when they were originally written. But the idea is I'm going to read through these because they seem to be a general summary of human existence from the beginning of written history to now. So I'd like to check that out. This will all be in English, should be at least. So this will be from a narrow perspective, but fortunately, there are ways of reading between the lines, not conspiracy theories, but considering alternative perspectives. If I were to read it, if I was someone else, because I can do that because I've experienced what it's like to basically live different lives. I had full health up until probably a couple years after high school. So, and I was athletic, and when I was 18, I was actually in the best shape of my life. I was exercising 8 to 10 hours a day. So, and like full intensity stuff. I would do 2 P90X videos a day, go play volleyball afterwards, go do my track practices for like 3 or 4 hours. I was all over the place. So I know what it's like to live a healthy life. Well, semi-healthy because my diet sucked, but because I was, working out so much, I burnt it all off. But when I lost my health, I went hard into the books and hard into, well, not hard, but like harder than I ever did before that. And even that really wasn't that impressive. But that life was very different because I wasn't very physically active and I had gained a lot of weight. So there was that one. Then after my kidneys failed, I lost the ability to urinate. I'm able to tinkle a little bit now. It's not a lot, but I have to do dialysis every night. I usually start at around 8 or 9, and I usually don't get done until about 5 or 6 every morning. So I'm on that all night, every night. Before, it used to take me a long time I used to not be able to multitask. I used to not be able to do dialysis and then do anything productive because I just felt sorry for myself. But eventually I got over that. Oh, a little bit of hard work, a little bit of habitual changes, and then losing some weight and gaining my energy back and realizing that there was a purpose of living. So, because I have basically lived a life of multiple perspectives, I'm able to step back and look at the big picture of things a lot easier. Now, I still get things wrong. I'm human. That's just how things are. But it's much easier for me to at least consider alternative possibilities. Even if I'm completely convinced I'm right, I'll still consider your viewpoint. So starting out with the book, Great Books of the Western World, that's going to be, it's titled The Great Conversation. And so I'll go ahead and hop over to that right now. Archive.org. This guy. Yep, that's this guy. So, Great Books of the Western World. This is, Volume 1. You have a preface. I'm just going to go to the table of contents. Just to kind of get a brief description of what is going to be said about this whole thing. Oops, did I miss it? Yep, I did. Okay. So, guide to the set. So 1, you have the list of authors. 2, list of great ideas. 3, explanation of colors of bindings. 4, biography of each author. 5, explanation of history and structure of the set. 6, statement of the purpose of the set. 7, possible approaches to the reading of the set. 8, complete list of works included in the set. 9, suggested 10-year reading plan. 10, explanation of purpose, structure, and use of the great ideas. A symposium of great books of the Western world. So volumes 1 and 3. General contents of the Syntopicon. I thought it said Syntopticon, but it's Syntopicon or Syntopicon. I don't know. History of the Syntopicon and the principles and methods of its construction. Next page. Additional readings suggested under the head of each of the... I don't know if that says 100 great ideas. I don't know what this says. I can zoom in. Hold on. 102 great ideas. Information about the 1,181 authors and 2,603 titles cited in the 102 reading lists. Alphabetical list of 1,792 ideas, concepts, and terms dealt with under the 2,987 topics of Centopicon, and then list of page locations of the outlines of topics for each of the 102 great ideas. See, okay, I'm glad I read that because I'm actually going to go ahead and start this project with those because they felt the need to separate all of that out of the bulk of the bulk of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a before and after sort of list. So I'll create the list as I get to it. And then from there, what I can do is write what I think about those things. So if it's an author that I haven't heard about, then I'll just say no opinion. But if it is an author I've heard about, I can at least give a brief description of what it brings to mind. And then same with like the ideas, the concepts and terms and so on. That's amazing. I'm so glad they did that. So before I read the rest of this, that's what I'm going to have to do. Cool. So I think most importantly right now, are these last few, the ones with the total authors and the ideas, 14 and 15, as well as 13. 13 can be good too because that's kind of getting an idea of what I'm about to do. So I like that a lot, and that's how I actually should have started the textbooks. I should have started with the keywords, the key ideas, and the key questions that could be asked. So all the problem sets and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's what I'll do. So 13, 14, 15. Log. Future. So that's archive.org. C. .org. Greatest books of West. Oh no, sorry. Great books of Western civilization. Sorry. Oh, of the Western world. Great Books of the Western World, Volume 1, The Great Conversation, Table of Contents equals, and then let's go back. Let's go through these again. List of authors. Actually, no, what I'll do, this is what I'll do. I like this better because this feels more, this way I can look at each of them. So list of authors. So guide to the set. Let's see, hold on. Guide to set. 1 through, I think it was what, 16? 16. Oops. 16. Follow directions. So I think it's all directed. It tells you exactly, because it's not stated as a direction, it's stated as a table of contents, but the direction would be to do those things. I like that. Okay. And then what I'll do, so for number 1, authors list. For 1, authors list. read and transcribe and record the list of authors and the table of contents for each volume. Okay. Then repeat process for 2 through 16 as necessary. Okay. So what that does is it tells me on this page, the Great Books of the Western World, Volume 1, Great Conversation Guide to Set 1, 1 through 16, follow directions for one author's list, read and transcribe and record the list of authors and the table of contents for each volume. Repeat process for 2 through 16 as necessary. So 2 was a list of great ideas. So it's going to be the end papers in each volume, the rear end papers. So that would be the next step, is to read, transcribe, record all of that. And then as I go through each of these, whatever I see, whatever seems like I should do, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll write down. Okay, cool. That is a cool idea. So let's go ahead and check out this website. So let's go ahead also. Let's go back. There, archive.org. Also future. Browse the website and take some quick notes. Archive introduction. Okay, so let's check this out. So Internet Archive. Let's go to About. All right, about the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive, a 501c3 nonprofit, is building a digital library of Internet sites and other cultural artifacts in digital form. Like a paper library, we provide free access to researchers, historians, scholars, people with print disabilities, and the general public. Our mission is to provide universal access to all knowledge. So that's actually basically what I want, except for the difference is I am simply an individual who's willing to just figure out his own way to do this. Well, not his own way. Obviously, I'm using websites like the Internet Archive to come up with the platform that I'm going to build myself, using the knowledge that I get out of all of this. But my plan is to focus it more on things that I think, one, are either useful, or two, might be just useful to know what the idea is. But it's more important for me to find things that are useful for the things that I want to do, because the things that I want to do involve some pretty cool future stuff that I am not ready to talk about yet. But eventually I will get into some of that stuff. But I have this idea that I could learn a lot of things in the next couple of years, and I want to see how far I can take the learning, and I want to see how far it can take me. I'm playing the long game, because the short game has always led to stress, anxiety, depression, and all that, weight gain. And I've lost so much weight, and I've noticed that in conjunction with the weight loss, the more that I feel calm and, just kind of in the zone, the easier things are. So my goal is to create my own, essentially my own brand in a way, my own way of presenting the information, my own way of absorbing the information. Granted, some of the ways that I process the information have probably been described already by other people because I don't really have a description for it. So I kind of just use whatever works. So yeah, but I want to be a beacon of information. And I think it would be great if information became decentralized like that, and that more people read more and just kind of paid attention to those things more, because I think this stuff's super important. It's crazy how many parallels I see with today and things that were written thousands of years ago. So, all right. Well, what I've read was translated from thousands of years ago, but I don't. I'm under the impression that people aren't smart enough to come up with their own unique ideas, because every fictional thing that I've ever read or been exposed to has had some basis in truth, whether it was just what I was observing. Like, hey, there's people there. Or, hey, that weird, creepy alien cartoon thing is speaking in English. I understand it. Like, stuff like that. But I love content that's made by individuals who have a passion. There's this one video. Actually, you know what? No, I won't go to it. Not yet. Not until I start doing the live streaming thing. Because I want to watch. That's something that I would just like to share with more people. So if more people end up liking the stuff that I do when I get into the original of what I'm hoping to do, then and I'm able to build up a small little set of followers, I'll show some of the things that have influenced me over the years, because I find them to be very influential. If looked at the more than a simple means of entertainment, because entertainment is great. That's the best part of books and movies and stuff, is the entertainment. But what makes that even better is when they are actually based in truth, and you can make the truth enjoyable, even if the truth is bad. Like if you can immerse a person in that, if you can immerse me in that, then like movie like Schindler's List, terrible movie in terms of just the events that it represents, but great movie because the acting was done well, and I just was immersed the whole time. So, but you get movies like a Chris Farley movie. I'm immersed, but I know it's all fake. So it's but those kind of movies are really good when the truth isn't helping keep a positive mentality. So, all right. We began in 1996 by archiving the internet itself, a medium that was just beginning to grow in use. Like newspapers, the content published on the web was ephemeral, but unlike newspapers, no one was saving it. Oh. Today we have 26 years of web history accessible through the Wayback Machine, and we work with 1,000 library and other partners through the Archive It program to identify important web pages. So I'm going to go ahead and write those down. Wayback Machine. Archive It. Okay. Sorry, I had to spit that out. All right. As our web archive grew, so did our commitment to providing digital versions of other published works. Today, our archive contains 735 billion web pages, 41 million books and text, 14.7 million audio recordings, including 240,000 live concerts. Excuse me. 8.4 million videos, including 2.4 million television news programs, 4.4 million images, 890,000 software programs. Anyone with a free account can upload media to the Internet Archive. We work with thousands of partners globally to save copies of their work into special collections. Because we are a library, we pay special attention to books. Not everyone has access to a public or academic library with a good collection. So to provide universal access, we need to provide digital book versions of books. We began to program a program to digitize books in 2005. That's so fucking funny. Okay. So I have an idea. I've had this idea for a while now, but it's not important to me right now because right now it's about turning my kidney failure around. And so, but the idea was that if I learned computer science and learned how to program and work with machines and stuff better, that I could create a system of that would allow me to scan using like a cell phone, maybe with a cell phone video feature or like a document camera, and scan all of my Magic the Gathering cards and create a database with all of the unique iterations of the cards, with data on like first edition cards and stuff, and then eventually somehow go and find out the value of the cards and then put all that information into the database and then create an eBay account or one of those auction sites, and then just start auctioning off cards. Do like random cards, starting at like a cent or $1, whatever the lowest amount is, and then like for rares and foils and first editions and all that. What I could do is I could start those off at maybe like 50% of the actual value of the card. Because the idea is I just don't play anymore, and I could actually, if I wanted to, create an Excel version. Actually, that's what I could do. I could make an Excel version, basically, quote, export the game, the information of the cards to my Excel, or to my, Google, the docs. Is it docs? No, sheets. And then from there, with all the, just make sure all the descriptions and stuff are added, that I could run my own digital version of the game using the cards that I had. But I just don't have a need for them anymore. Like I just don't play enough. So, but that's just funny because that's totally, it's like all of my ideas that I think are mine are actually ideas that were come up with a long time ago. That's so amazing. Well, because before that, even then, like, think, what's his face? Evolution guy. Why can't I think of his name? Darwin. Basically, cataloging. That's what Darwin does, and that's what I've learned how to do. I've learned how to catalog information using the internet, and it's so fun. So. Let's see. Because we are a free library, we pay special attention to books. Not everyone has access. Okay. Began program to digitize books, and today we scan 4,300 books per day in 18 locations around the world. Books published prior to 1927 are available for download. Wow, that's amazing. And hundreds of thousands of modern books can be borrowed through our open library site. One of the Internet Archive's missions is to serve people who have difficulty interacting with physical books, so most of our digitized books are available to people with print disabilities. Okay, so my project idea, and I know it's not my own idea, and I'm sure it's been done already. I mean, basically, they have it with like Google Translate and stuff, but I'd like to come up with my own method of translating things, which would also require me to learn the languages myself. Or actually, I thought about when I go to learn languages, because that's going to be something at some point, to learn the grammar or just the verbiage, just the words first, and speak in an English dialect using the language, like the words of those people, and then learn the grammar skills and all that stuff, and then like the preferences, the formalities, and all that stuff, how to conjugate and all that and all those things. But and then maybe creating my own website where I translate my own stuff. Because that's the thing. It's like when people, it always seems to me when people organize and centralize, it always slows the process down. Even though $4,300 a day is pretty freaking fast. That's crazy. But if individuals started doing it, it would be really hard to, and then having and then storing all of these on hard drives, or even having a way of physically transcribing them onto paper or objects. Or so I've thought about like laser inscription. You could do really with a precise laser. You could have like an entire novel on the face of a piece of paper, or like a piece of metal. Maybe the size of a piece of paper, and it'll have everything on there. And then you would just use a digital camera or with maybe like a laser scanner or something in order to read that small. Because the lasers, finely tuned lasers, can they can read really small. So one of Internet Archive's missions is to serve people who have people with disabilities. Okay. Like the internet, television is also an ephemeral medium. We began archiving television programs in late 2000, and our first public TV project was an archive on TV news surrounding the events of September 11, 2001. In 2009, we began to make selected U.S. television news broadcasts searchable by captions in our TV news archive. Oh, so they have a TV news archive. Okay, so Open Library. Sorry, I need to go back. Open Library, TV news archive. Oops. The service allows researchers and the public to use television as a citable and shareable reference. The Internet Archive serves millions of people each day and is one of the top 300 websites of the world. Oh, that could be fun. Idea. Top 300 websites. That'll give me an idea of what people are looking at and where money is going to. Hold on. A single copy of the Internet Archive library collection occupies 99 plus petabytes of server space, and we store at least 2 copies of everything. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, 99 plus petabytes. 99 plus petabytes plus duplicates stored. That is so much information. We are funded through donations, grants, and by providing web archiving and book digitization services for our partners. As with most libraries, we value the privacy of our patrons, so we avoid keeping the IP addresses of our readers and offer our site in HTTPS protocol. You can find information about our projects on our blog. Oh, so they have a blog. Contact us, buy swag in our store, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Welcome to the library. So here's some funding people. So I'll go ahead and mention those because the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, Council on Library and Information Resources, Democracy Fund, Federal Communications Commission, Universal Service Program for Schools and Libraries, E-rate. Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Knight Foundation, Laura and John Arnold Foundation, National Endowment for the Humanities, Office of Digital Humanities, National Science Foundation, the Peter and Carmen Lucia Buck Foundation, the Philadelphia Foundation, and the Rita Allen Foundation. The Internet Archive is a member of the American Library Association, the Association for Recorded Sound Collections, Biodiversity Heritage Library, Boston Library Consortium, CALIFA, Council on Library and Information Resources, Coalition for Networked Information, Digital Library Federation, Digital Preservation Coalition, Digital Public Library of America, International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, International Internet Preservation Consortium, Music Library Association, National Digital Stewardship Alliance, Reshare. Okay, so let's go ahead and write all of these down. So I'm going to go ahead and separate these. Funded by. Sorry, fruit fly. Always get one or two every night coming up next to me. It's the only light on in the house, so they like it. So I'm going to go ahead and type these in, and I'll get back to that. All right, got that all written down. Okay, so let's look at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and just say what's up here. So you have the, this takes you to the home, just the Internet Archive symbol. And then they have web. So let's go ahead and expand. So that's got an Archivate subscription. It's got browser extensions. Let's take a peek at that. Wayback Machine. Okay, so the features of this, so it's just an extension for Chrome. The features it has: save page now, instantly save the page you are currently viewing in the Wayback Machine. Turn on auto save page in settings to save pages that have not been previously saved, or auto save bookmarks for save when bookmarking a page. Works while logged out, or log in for additional options. So it has different versions of the page. Okay, 404 not found. When an error occurs, automatically check if an archive copy is available. That's nice. Contextual notices. Check for contextual information from fact-checking organizations and origin websites. Relevant resources, view research papers and books while visiting Wikipedia, archive digitized books while visiting Amazon Books, and recommended TV news clips while visiting news websites. URLs and collections, show a list of URLs captured under the current website. Sitemap word cloud, annotations. Cool. That's pretty sweet. Interesting. Let's see. That's pretty cool. Let's check it out. Okay. That's interesting. That's so weird. Cool. Okay, cool. That's pretty sweet. 100,000 poets. 2014 election cycle. Universities. Collection. Okay. Cool. I'll play around with those later. So that's that. You can search and stuff. So then there's books. You can borrow books. It's an open library. It's got some featured stuff. It's got some other websites, it looks like. Project Gutenberg. Cool. Yeah, so it's just a bunch of different stuff that they have on there. Video, TV news, understanding 9/11. It's got all those different things. Audio. It's got LibriVox. Oh, cool. So LibriVox is a free audiobook thing. Cool. Okay. It's audio software. Classic PC games. I wonder if they have Civ 2 on here. They do. No way. That's crazy. That's pretty sweet. This is a game that this is one of my first games that I really was interested in playing. It's like an advanced game of chess on the computer. That's amazing. That is amazing. Images. Solar system collection. Oh, this is actually a project idea I have. So I want to get into astrophotography at some point. And I want to create my own model of the solar system using my own observations and using mathematics and all that stuff. And see if I can see patterns in various things. I was thinking, what if you take... so every planet has a pole, or I guess a set of poles that are perpendicular or parallel. Sorry, 180 degrees from each other. I would say roughly. I was wondering if by inserting poles through each of the planets and each of the stellar bodies in the system, if there becomes overlap between those, where like maybe poles don't face each other, but maybe the direction of the poles might eventually overlap. I wonder if that has some sort of interference pattern that could explain certain either celestial phenomena or even weather patterns, climate patterns. Just be interesting. Because I mean, the planets are all basically, I guess all matter is basically just a bunch of magnets held together. But that's pretty cool. Let's go back. Blog. We'll have to check out a lot of these ones later and start reading some of this stuff. Projects. Okay. Volunteer. I'm not ready for that. I would need to get more used to the site first. Oh, there's people. Okay. Cool. Well, that's actually really exciting. And then I can upload files too. So I think what I'll do is I'll when I have audio video up and then transcriptions, maybe that could be something I do. But all right, for now I think that's it. Oh, that's all I plan on doing with that. Gosh, there's so many things. Spirituality, religion. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. So this is almost like this is probably better than YouTube. You just have to search for it. Cool. Okay, sweet. All right. Call that good.